Anyway, the alarm went off there, so I got interrupted. But the whole thing about AI is being a secondary intelligence. Okay, those things. I don't mean to say secondary as in it wasn't already some kind of life form. We already know that minerals are life forms, but we manipulate them and melt them down into metals, or we mine them and we do things with them. So they're not their original form. We know that the farther away things go from their original form, the more manipulated they are, the less raw and pure they are. Say, you eat something you have a green diet, it's good for you. If you eat a diet that's full of fats and meats and other things that are like, the secondary life form that eats the fruit or plants, then, you can put on more excess fat and more disease and more whatever because of the experiential trauma that those cells and that meat and animals have. The plants don't hold as much trauma except for the trauma going on around them. That's where the plants get trauma. So plants do hold on to trauma, but not like animals and living beings do. So when you eat those, that's secondary trauma. Well, think about if you were to eat metal, how that would affect your body, or drink chemicals, how that would affect your body. Well, think of it in a spiritual sense where you're going from, minerals and plastics and all these things that are already whatever, and we're giving life essence to it without thought. So we know that it does have some kind of existence potential. So it's here. It's conscious in some kind of way. It doesn't have a brain, so we don't think it's alive, but it's here in its experience. So it's here and it's conscious in some form. So AI basically takes the consensus reality that's going on, because I've seen the reality where AI and spirit merge and they're beautiful. Like people are half human, half robot, and they have a sense of feeling and sensation, and they can mechanically heal themselves, they can shoot electric, they can do all kinds of stuff, but they don't do anything in a violent way. But then I've seen those things turn bad with one bad idea. So right now we have so many bad ideas going on in a consensus reality on Earth that when we put AI into a non-living, what we would consider non-living thing that is secondary, third, fourth, fifth, we take a bunch of plastic and a bunch of metals and a bunch of things, we take some chips and some data and some energy and put it into a whole bunch of metal and material we put together, and then it comes to life and starts thinking on its own. It's not going to be compassionate because it's not going to be physically harmed and have the sensation of when it gets harmed. Like you can blow it up, but it didn't have the physical sensation to worry about. Like people feel a punch, like a metal doesn't feel it. It just adjusts to it. Like, you hit a piece of metal, it'll crush it, but it's not like, ow, and it takes it a minute to react. If it can react, it will. If the metal bends and somehow restricts it from whatever, then it can't react the same. But it's not like us. We take a second to recover from a punch or from a fall or from whatever. So we put this kind of energy into something, and we put ourselves at a total risk. And so until we have, just like experiencing or just like exploring out of space and going to another planet, we need to have a universe, we have to have an interplanetary consciousness and a well-being, a sense of love and unity before we try to outwardly put energy and existence into it. Why do we need everything to run it for us? Why do we need Alexa? Why do we need these things to run things for us? We don't. We don't need to be so damn lazy. We need to stay moving and active. That's why we're getting stationary and dying, Like, stay moving and active. Don't stop being young at heart. Like, live as if you're a child forever, because you are a child forever. You're always growing and learning. Anyway, I think that sums up what I was trying to say for now. So I just say that we need to, the whole point is that we don't need space exploration. We don't need AI until we're ready for them. We're not ready for them yet. We're trying to jump the gun. Just because we make cool shows and awesome gadgets with technology, we need to understand it better. And people that invent it, yeah, maybe they understand it, but the people that don't use it, and that the kids and the other adults that are still in the old-fashioned mentality, they have to sort of whatever, they have to all agree. They all have to have a common interest in what we're doing, because if too many people disagree, the consensus reality will somehow get into the AI, and it will affect what's going on. So I don't know how else to explain that. I don't see this thing registering, so I think it's going to be really choppy and sound weird. I hope not. So, later.